Welcome to CBS Easy.
All right, let's jump right in. Today, we are tackling a super famous chapter from Anne Frank's diary. Now, I want you to forget whatever you think you know. This is not some dry historical text. No, this is the story of a seriously sharp, hilarious, and witty teenager who's dealing with a problem that, let's be honest, we've all faced: a really annoying teacher. I mean, have you ever felt like that? Surrounded by a crowd but still feeling completely on your own? Well, that feeling, that's what kicks this whole story off. It's something Anne Frank knew all too well, and it's pretty much the single biggest reason she even started writing. So let's officially meet our main character, Anne Frank, when she's just 13 years old. And even though it looked like she had a ton of friends and a bustling social life, she was missing that one crucial thing, a true friend, someone she could really, truly open up to. And on the surface, I mean, it looks like she has it all, right? Loving parents, an older sister, and she even says she has about 30 people she could call friends. But here's the catch. She saw them as people to have a good time with, but not people she could get any closer to or talk about what was really on her mind. Okay, and this timeline here gives us some really quick but super important context. Anne was born in Germany, but her family had to move to Holland to escape the Nazis. Then, right after her 13th birthday in June 1942, things got so dangerous that her family was forced into hiding. So you can imagine, her diary suddenly becomes this incredible anchor in a world that's been completely turned upside down. So, what does a lonely girl do when she doesn't have a true friend? Well, she finds one in a pretty unexpected place. This one sentence? This captures the entire idea. It's such a famous line she wrote when she was feeling down and bored, and it perfectly explains why she turned to her diary. So what does that really mean, paper has more patience? Well, just think about it for a second. Paper doesn't interrupt you. It doesn't get bored halfway through your story, and it definitely never, ever tells your secrets. It's kind of like having a private blog or, a secret chat just for you. For Anne, this diary, this was the one place where she could be 100% honest, no judgment. And this is so, so important. She wasn't just writing in a diary, she was writing to a friend. By giving it the name Kitty, she completely transformed a simple notebook into the confidant she'd always been looking for. All right, now for the main event of this chapter. It's a total classic classroom showdown, the super talkative student versus the grumpy, old-fashioned teacher. So here's the setup. Anne totally admits she's a chatterbox, and her maths teacher, Mr. Keesing, is just not having it at all. She even calls him an old fogey, which honestly tells you everything you need to know about their relationship right from the get-go. And just so we're all on the same page, an old fogey is basically just an old-fashioned person. It's a key vocabulary word from your textbook, and it's the perfect way a lively teenager would describe her super strict teacher. So Mr. Keesing decides to punish Anne with extra homework, and it's always essays about her talking. First, he gives her a chatterbox. When that doesn't work, he ups the ante to an incorrigible chatterbox, which basically means someone who is so bad you can't fix them. But it's the third one. Oh, the third one is where things get really good. For that very first essay, Anne comes up with this absolutely brilliant argument. She writes that, sure, talking is a student's trait, but more importantly, it's an inherited trait she got from her mom. So what's she supposed to do about it? It's literally in her genes. I mean, even Mr. Keesing had to laugh at that one. But by the time the third essay comes around, Anne's pretty much out of ideas. She decides she needs a whole new strategy. It was time to turn the tables and make the joke about him. This is where her genius really kicks in. Mr. Keesing was obviously trying to make fun of her with that ridiculous title, quack, 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 said Mistress Chatterbox. So what does Anne do? With a little help from her friend San, who was good at poetry, she decides to write the whole thing as a poem. And the poem itself is just a masterpiece of dark comedy. It's about a mother duck and a father swan who have these 3 baby ducklings. But the father swan, he bites them to death. Why? Because they quacked too much. It was the absolute perfect way to flip Mr. Keesing's joke right back at him, basically calling him the mean old swan. Just look at the difference here. Her first argument, it was clever, it was logical, and yeah, it worked for a little while. But her final argument, the poem, that was pure creative genius. It didn't just get her off the hook, it completely changed her teacher's mind about her. And the result? A total home run. Mr. Keesing got the joke and actually loved it. He read the poem out loud, not just to Anne's class, but to other classes too. And from that day on, she was allowed to talk. And he even started cracking jokes in class himself. Okay, time to wrap this all up into a nice little package for your exam. If you need to write about Anne's character, these next points are exactly what you need to remember. So what have we learned? We see a picture of Anne as way more than just a girl who talked too much. She is clearly intelligent and witty. I mean, she used logic to defend herself. She's incredibly creative, turning a punishment into a piece of art. She's insightful, understanding deep things about people and loneliness. And yeah, of course, she's funny and talkative. This is the whole package, the complete picture of who she was, based on this one chapter. And that just leaves us with one last thing to think about. Anne faced a simple, totally relatable problem. A strict teacher, but instead of just taking the punishment, she used her wit and creativity to completely change the entire situation. So the real question for you is, how can you use that same spark of creativity to tackle your own everyday challenges?
Thank you for watching with us. See you next time.